Hello everybody and welcome to another video! So today we're going to be talking about giving trans people a chance, and we're going to explain what we mean by that. So anyway, my name is Jenny, you are?
Naomi.
Naomi. Probably already know this by now if you watch our videos enough. If not, where the frick have you been? Where the frick have you been? So, me and Naomi actually ended up going to Virginia here recently, and in case you don't know, me and Naomi both live in very conservative states. Me being a trans femme, it can be pretty uncomfortable living in the state that I live in, like very uncomfortable. Basically, every day we kind of just feel like judged in public, especially me being trans femme. Honestly, existing just feels like really tense and like I'm being watched all the time. And for me, I present feminine every single day, and I present feminine at work, and I work out in public, and I work out in public in very conservative areas. And for me personally, I feel like every time that I have to go out and work in these areas, especially if it's super rural, that I've got to put on almost like an emotional armor, which for me is being very spiteful. Like, let's say if I feel like somebody is looking at me weird, or if they treated me different in an interaction, then I'll be super spiteful in my head about that situation, and it's like a survival tactic almost, but that's something that I've developed over time after living in these areas. Have you felt that way at all?
Yeah, I feel like I can kind of relate to that in a lot of ways. You kind of get where you're a little tensed up around certain people because you know what to expect. You know how the conversation is going to go and how the reaction is going to be, and one can end up alienating them their own self, based on their surroundings.
Yeah, it's like especially with the way that everything has been going for a lot of trans femmes here recently and queer people in general, you're always expecting a possible conflict, especially if you go into very, very, very unfriendly areas towards people like us. Like, you really can feel the vibe in some areas, especially if you know you're in a conservative area, that you are just not welcome at all. And it makes you hyper aware of the people around you, and it really brings this constant tension of being in public. For me personally, I've noticed a lot of people staring at me a little bit differently, treating me sometimes a lot differently. Honestly, when I'm interacting with people, like if I am dressing super femme one day and I look passable, the one thing that always gives me away is my feminine voice, because it's not completely mastered yet, and honestly, some days I just don't feel like doing the feminine voice. But the problem is, as soon as people, hear that, or if they see something that isn't like coinciding with what the norm is, then they start treating you differently, and especially if they realize that you're trans, or if you're queer or something, a lot of people, you can feel the vibe shift. You can see the expression on their face change in that moment. I have seen that countless times. So, and an example of this here recently, I was out on a job and I wanted to get something to eat and drink. And I was in an extremely unfriendly area, but I decided to, I'm human. I'm a person. I want things, and I should be able to interact with people in public like a normal person. But I know from past experiences that something is probably going to happen, or I'm going to be treated differently. Anyway, I get into the store, I get my stuff, I go to the cashier's desk, and it starts raining outside, and I say something along the lines of, I wish I didn't have to put on my rain jacket. And this really gruff guy just turns around and gives me one of these looks. Like literally one of these looks on my face right now. And I'm just like, wow, okay, you're very not nice. And a lot of times it's because I am dressed pretty femme. Like I see the difference from before I was transitioning to now, and it's such a stark difference. Especially when you are in these areas, it's just completely different. So
for me, I feel like I kind of get seen, because I kind of look like the kind of person she's describing. I kind of look like that kind of, big, intimidating guy most of the time. And people tend to judge me right off the bat and judge the book by its cover without even, getting to know me or try to see the person I actually am. They just assume that I'm going to be like that. I'm going to be somebody who's hateful and angry and generally come off with a mean expression. And I haven't been that kind of person a long time.
So, and the other problem that I constantly come across is I constantly get sirred. Even when I'm in full femme, you can see me wearing makeup. I got the booba. I got about as much booba as I have here. I mean, come on. It's pretty freaking obvious.
It really is. I can tell.
Especially since you've been dressing me up lately.
I dress her up like my own little personal doll.
Wait a minute.
Hey, at least I make you pretty.
Don't make me get the horny stick. But yeah, I get sirred constantly even when I'm in full femme, and I'm just like, really? Oh, really? And sometimes you really get the feeling that they do it on purpose, and it's just mean. Like, why? Like, it feels degrading. Like, it really does. And it's infuriating. It's like, why? And it hurts people like us because you were not being seen correctly. It feels like you're presenting one way very obviously, and people perceive you as something that you're not. And they make it very obvious in certain circumstances that they are literally like misgendering you to get on your nerves, and it does wear you down over time. And it's just a matter of basic respect. Like, you feel like people just don't give you the most basic respect when it comes to how, when you see a woman, what do you call her? Ma'am, miss. When you see somebody presenting as feminine, what do you think we want to be called? Like, it's obvious, and it's just a matter of basic respect. A lot of times, I don't get that. I don't get that so often.
And a lot of times, it feels like when you're treated differently than how you feel on the inside, it's almost hard to perceive yourself as who you actually are. You start to believe what other people are telling you because that's all you hear is you're this, you're this, you're this. This is the kind of person you are. This is how you're seen. This is how it is. And all that congregates into one big, oh, maybe this is how I am. And you end up being down on yourself, even though you see yourself as something more.
It becomes a fight to remember who you are sometimes, because when you constantly hear one thing all the time, it's just like it wears you down mentally. And there has been some points where I'm just like, is it even worth it doing this? Is it even worth it putting all this effort into this? And for me, yes, it's worth it, but I have had to develop a certain form of spite inside of myself to keep me going down this path. It's my defense mechanism. I know who I am inside, and I need to defend that, because otherwise, if I let other people get to me, then, it gets to your head. It's just degrading, constantly having people like misgendering you, misinterpreting who you are, and sometimes even going out of their way to, it just feels like bullying, honestly. It just feels like bullying, and it hurts. It really does hurt. So this is where we get into the differences of like different areas that feel different from each other. So in a lot of conservative areas, and especially in a lot of rural areas, you really do feel excluded from a lot of conversations. People will not let you into their conversations, or they will literally give you this look, like this judgmental look if you try to get into their conversation. And you feel extremely judged. You get the feeling of you just don't belong, and it just feels like you don't matter to them. Like you're subhuman or something. Like you're something else other than human.
Or you constantly have to be in defense mode when you're around certain people because they expect you're supposed to explain everything about yourself, and you're supposed to have to defend who you are because they're so far against it. You end up having to explain, well, this is how I am, this is why I'm this way, this is why. And we shouldn't have to explain, who we love or how we represent ourselves or how we identify. It shouldn't be that complicated.
And I understand that, especially in rural areas, like a lot of people aren't exposed to people like us. They aren't exposed to queer people. They aren't exposed to trans people, especially because we are only 2% of the entire population of like the world. So, I mean, it's pretty rare for you to come across somebody like me.
Minorities.
Yeah, super minorities. So I get it that like it can be a shock to some people. I'm understanding on that front. I know I have shocked quite a few people because I can still look a little bit masculine whenever I'm presenting feminine. Like, I'm still in my transition. What can you do? But it can come to a shock to those people, and I understand that. But when you get into more progressive areas, like we went to Virginia, which is a very progressive place. And when we both went there, I noticed the vibe changed like instantly. Like people were so much more like open to us. They were like, it just felt like they were more open to interactions with me, and I felt more included in the conversations. And I didn't notice as much of that hesitation towards me. Now, I was dressing a lot more feminine because I didn't have to have a freaking uniform on. I did have a lot more makeup on. I was acting more myself because I knew I was in a safer area. In fact, we were like in a college town, so like super progressive area. But I just remember this one interaction. We were in a discount clothing store, and I was getting outfits, which this is the first time I've really been to an outlet store. By the way, perfect place to find clothing no matter what gender you are. Like, holy crap, the prices are so cheap, and they are name brand stuff. Like, oh my gosh. Thank you for taking me there. Like, oh my gosh, the prices are insane. I was waiting in line at the fitting rooms, and these two girls were like hogging up one of the stalls, and we were waiting on the other person who had much less to get out. But so we started talking about these two girls who were just trying on pretty much everything in the store. But I noticed that hesitation. Like, I noticed that hesitation at first. Like I could tell that she could tell that I am trans or something. I could tell that she knew something was slightly off. Honestly, I kind of felt like she gave me a chance and just started talking to me more, and she loosened up. She was like super nice. And I had a lot of interactions like that over in Virginia. Like, people just like opened up so much quicker. They were so much more accepting, and like I think I even got she heard once or twice. Like, it was nice. The vibe was completely different.
It's just people were generally nicer in general. I was trying on a pair of shoes, and this dad and his kid came by, and they were just like generally nice. Like, they were like, he was like, those look like some really good shoes. And I'm like, yeah, I'm really fond of Skechers. I think they're pretty comfortable. He said,
not sponsored.
He said, that ain't a bad. He said, that's not a bad price. He said, this seems pretty good. And I went ahead and I got me a pair of them.
But the contrast kind of messed with my head between the areas where we're raised and come from and what we experienced there. Like, the contrast was kind of started to mess with me because obviously I had to go back home. We were meeting up after like months of not being together, but we are boyfriend and girlfriend. So yeah, just in case you didn't know. Overall, when you're in more conservative areas, you have to be on edge. You have to be in safety mode. But whenever I'm in a more progressive area, I'm able to relax a lot more because I know people will be more accepting. And the stress of that kind of builds up over time. Like, you just get tired of being treated a certain way. You get tired of the same old. You get tired of just being treated as something that you're not.
Yeah, the way others perceive us, you can almost feel like others don't perceive you as you see yourself. It really goes back to the whole thing about a book, judging a book by its cover. You don't know a person until you get to know them. Do you sit down and talk to them? Do you take time to have that conversation? To have, a one-on-one interaction with you and them. And until you do that, you truly don't know another human being, no matter how much you see or hear. Until you really spoke to them and got to know them, you don't know anything about them. and you should take the chance to have that conversation with somebody.
Yeah, I'm often like so judged before I'm even talking to somebody, and people's assumptions about me always come first. And it really does feel like it is shaped by the media, because they portray us in such a negative way, and there's such a lack of representation in the media, or poor representation. And then on top of that, every time we get representation, people call it woke. And all it is us trying to be us, trying to show others that there's people like us out there, and that we're not bad people. We're just people living our lives. We're just people trying to work a job. We're just people trying to pay our rent. We're just people trying to live a life, and it just feels like we're just not understood. We're just normal people. We just want to exist normally in society. It hurts that we're not able to, that we always have to have this feeling of tension in our lives. We don't deserve to be treated like we're something else, like we're this big enemy that the media says we are, even though I'm literally just working a job, and I'm talking about my experiences here on YouTube. I'm just a person, and I don't deserve to get judged like I do, and it hurts when I do get like the shock reaction towards me. And I am understanding towards certain people, but it happens all the time. And some people do go out of their way to hurt me, like just on a very small level. Like, I haven't experienced violence, but I know some people who have. I know some people who have experienced violence because of the way they presented. I've known a couple people. And we just want to exist in this society as ourselves, as any other person. When you see me in person, I look like a girl, I act like a girl, I try my best to sound like a girl, even though I shouldn't have to. I shouldn't have to do voice training to fit in. That's a whole different topic, and that creates tension in itself, that I have to fit a certain stereotype. But we're just here. Like, cut us a break, please.
She's kind of spoiled, though, I'm not gonna lie.
I bite. I bite too. I will bite you. Overall, I'm trying to talk to some people out there who have not interacted with trans people that much, or may have some misunderstandings about us, or even don't like us. We're just normal people. We're not asking to be more than others. We're just asking to be treated like human beings, because we are. We're asking to be treated as our gender, because it does hurt us if we are not. Like, if you go out of your way to treat us like something we're not, it's so invalidating. And like I said, I've had to build up a bit of spite because of that, because that's my defense mechanism. That's how I get through the day. Like, I won't say some of the stuff that I say, but it's very spiteful. And we're like anybody else. We want love. We want compassion. We don't like feeling hurt just like everybody else. We want to have relationships. We want to make friends. We want to live a life. We want to exist in a society, especially a society that accepts us for who we are. We want to live in a society where we're not villainized for living our lives. For some of us, living the person that we know we are inside. And I don't mean like surface level. I mean deep down in your soul, it's distressing if you do not live this way. If you do not live as the gender that you want to be or feel like you are. And for me, I want to live as a girl. I want to live, I am gender fluid, so I do sometimes go between masculine and feminine, but you know, I'm a tomboy, or I'm a tom girl. Tomboy, yes, I know, but tom girl, that's what I like to call myself. But I'm still a girl. We just want to go through society. We want to go through our lives the way that we feel and know we are. And I'm just asking for understanding in this video. I'm not trying to chastise you in any way. I'm not trying to bring you down in any way. I'm just asking you to reflect on the things that you have seen about us, and how it contrasts with who we really are. Like, have you met a trans person yourself? Have they affected your life in any way? Away from the news, away from all the politics. What have we done? What have we done to you? And what have we asked of you? We've asked to be treated as equals. That's what we want. We want to be treated with love and compassion. We want to have the same opportunities as everybody else. We're not asking for anything special.
People just want to be themselves. They just want to be, who they're meant to be. It's not meant to intrude on anybody else or to make anybody else uncomfortable. We're just trying to be ourselves.
And I want to be a goofy goober. Like, I am the biggest goofy goober on the internet. Oh my gosh, let me be a goofy goober. I want to be a goofy goober. I just want to bounce around on the ball. Or right now it's in my bed. I want to bounce around and be a goofy goober.
I love this goofball.
Yeah. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it made sense what we were trying to say. It's kind of a complicated subject. A lot of the topics that we've been doing lately have been complicated topics. None of this is easy to talk about. Like, everything is so politicized, and it's so hard to not ruffle any feathers, or it's hard for us to talk to somebody who's in a different reality than us, to be truthful. I hope that we both got through to some of you, or at least give you a new perspective, or at least got through to you in some way. And for all you trans girlies and all of my queer folk out there, y'all are good beans, and you're a good boy or a good girl, or in between. Some monstrosity like this. You're a good monstrosity.
Bite one.
I mean that in a very loving way. You are a good indie. Anyway, you know what time it is.
Oh boy, a ball of yarn.
My throat is going on me. Hi. Quit making me go up and down. Freckle Peckle. I can't frickin' eat the camera. It won't let me. Hey. Make sure to go take a shower, brush your teeth, drink some water. You know what to do. I'm in a weird portal. There's a table in my way. Do all the usual shindigs.